Hello everyone, Weather Jamaica here. Welcome to this updated video on the weather across Jamaica and the rest of the Caribbean. It is Friday evening, October 11, 2024. Now before we jump into it, please ensure that you guys like the video. I'd really appreciate it if you guys get the video up to 100 likes. If you don't know by now, that's how the YouTube algorithm works. We all like the video and then the YouTube algorithm pushes the video out to more persons who are on the path of these tropical systems, that we can keep everyone safe, especially during the peak of Atlantic hurricane season. That's August through to October. Share this video with your friends, your co-workers, your relatives, and even your church brethren, and subscribe if you haven't yet done so. Leave a comment down below, let him know what the weather's been like in your area recently. Also, feel free to ask any weather-related question that you might have about the future of the weather in your specific area. Alright, so let's just take a look at the U.S. National Hurricane Center's 7-day graphical tropical weather outlook. And we can see that as of their latest update that just came out at 7:47 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, which is actually 6:47 p.m. Jamaica time, so almost an hour ago, we can see that we still have Tropical Storm Leslie across the open waters of the North Atlantic. And to the southeast of Tropical Storm Leslie, we have a tropical wave that has a medium chance of development within the next 7 days. So we have a code orange right there to the west of the Cabo Verde Islands. And if we take a look at the wide Atlantic satellite images, we can make out all of these entities a bit. Well, the leftover clouds associated with Leslie still being sheared off towards the southwest. And we can see the clouds associated with the tropical wave right there to the west of the Cabo Verde Islands that has a chance of development. And I think you can make out the leftovers of Hurricane Milton right there to the southeast of Bermuda, definitely being sheared as we speak. Definitely no longer on the hurricane center's radar at all in terms of impacts to any landmass whatsoever. Definitely post-tropical, no longer having any tropical characteristics, considering that it's definitely interacting with the upper level trough system right there. If we take a look at the latest information regarding Tropical Storm Leslie, we can see that as of the latest update, she's still packing maximum sustained winds of 50 miles per hour. And that makes her a mid-range tropical storm. We know that tropical storms usually have winds of 39 to 73 miles per hour. So she's right up there at the mid-range section in terms of tropical storm. So it's not closer to a tropical depression or closer to a hurricane, just right there smack dab in the middle. And it makes sense because look how she's being sheared. She doesn't look like a tropical storm at all. As a matter of fact, let's see if we can get the close-up of her. I think we can make out the spin, and the spin is definitely pushing towards the northeast as we speak. Look at that spin. You can definitely see the spin, and look at the high cold cloud tops pushing off towards the southwest, just to indicate how strong the upper level winds are. So the thunderstorms can't even wrap around that center at all. Definitely being shared as we speak. So as of the latest update from the Hurricane Center, we saw for ourselves she's moving towards the northeast at 70 miles per hour, and we can see that she should remain a tropical storm as we get into Sunday when she's passing to the south of the Azores Islands. Who knows, maybe tropical storm watches or warnings might be issued for those islands later on throughout the weekend. We'll see how that goes. Either way, she's expected to curve around, maybe push east, southeastward. Who knows, maybe she might make it back right there across the northwestern portions of Africa. We'll see how that goes as time goes on, or will she dissipate? I'll definitely be here to keep you posted with what occurs. If we take a look at the latest regarding the tropical wave right there to the west of the Cabo Verde Islands, let us see what the Hurricane Center is saying regarding this system. They've stated here, as of their latest update, showers and thunderstorms remain disorganized in association with an area of low pressure just west of the Cabo Verde Islands. Some development is possible tonight, and a short-lived tropical storm could form while the system moves westward or west-northwestward at 10 to 15 miles per hour away from the Cabo Verde Islands. On Saturday, environmental conditions are forecast to become less conducive, and further development appears unlikely after that time. Regardless of development, gusty winds and areas of heavy rain are likely to continue over portions of the Cabo Verde Islands through tonight. And we see that they've given it both a 40% chance of cyclone formation within the next 48 hours, that's the next 2 days, and a 40% chance of cyclone formation within the next 7 days. Definitely looks even more impressive than Leslie as we speak. Definitely brought some bad weather to the Cabo Verde Islands today. Look at the showers and thunderstorms, especially right there passing to the south. Look at the reds, the oranges, the blacks, the grays, the purples. Definitely some deep convection in general. And this is the track that is going to be pushing more so towards the northwest. But look at this. There is going to be a ridge of high pressure developing right here to her north as soon as Leslie gets out of here. And that is going to be forcing this system that could become the next name on our list. What's the next name on our list? The next name after Milton is Nadine. We still have Leslie. Milton is out of here. Nadine is next. So will this system become Nadine? And look at the path that it is taking, more so of a west-southwesterly jog and then to the west. And some of these models are definitely taking it into the Caribbean. And even the EPS, that's the Ensemble Prediction System from the Euro model. So the first one that we showed was the ensembles from the GFS, that's the GFS ensembles. Now we're looking at the EPS, that's the Euro ensembles, and we're seeing something similar, lifting northward or northwestward, then being squashed back down to the west southwest by that ridge of high pressure, and then making a beeline maybe towards the Leeward Islands. Euro model showing more Leeward Islands or missing the Caribbean in general. GFS showing more Eastern Caribbean overall. But in terms of the intensity model guidance, most of these models aren't taking it to hurricane status at all. Maybe by the end of the 144 hours, some of the models are taking it into the yellows that represents hurricane status. But we see that most of them are right here below tropical storm status. You know that tropical storm status is in the greens, packing maximum sustained winds of 35 knots all the way up to 65 knots. We'll see how that goes, and I'll definitely be here to keep you posted with what occurs. Either way, as of right now, the models, well, the GFS at that, not really seeing much, but we definitely see that jog regarding the system. For reference, we see Hispaniola right here, Puerto Rico, the Eastern Caribbean, and we see this tropical wave. So we're going to be looking at the next 168 hours to see exactly what occurs. So we're going to be seeing that it definitely goes towards the northwest. Then it starts to make that jog towards west-southwest. And we see why that happens. Look at this ridge of high pressure right here, developing and pushing the system, steering it more so towards the west-southwest. This high pressure ridge definitely has to be watched because they can be tricky. They can definitely steer the system even more west. Who knows, maybe we might be looking at Nadine later on. So we have to pay close attention to what this ridge of high pressure does regarding this system. As we continue to go out in time, we see what it does. The moisture, the L, the isobar, something is pushing close to the Caribbean. Look at all of the moisture. If not a tropical system, definitely gonna be a rainy kind of pattern for the Eastern Caribbean, the Northern Windward Islands, the Leeward Islands in general. And we're just gonna be stopping right there at the next 168 hours. We're gonna see exactly what unfolds with this system as it pushes towards the Caribbean, and I'll definitely be here to keep you posted with what occurs. If we take a look at the surface map of the Atlantic for this evening, we can make out the strong tropical wave right here to the west of the Cabo Verde Islands. We can make out the ridge of high pressure that's expected to extend as soon as Leslie is out of there and pushes itself to the northeast. We can see that we have a tropical wave right here to the northeast of South America, and we can see a trough. There was a trough that was bringing some rainfall to portion of Jamaica today. We see the broken orange lines. We see another trough right here across the Western Caribbean, and the remnants associated with the area flow pressure, basically the remnant of Milton in general, attached to that frontal trough system. If we take a look at the visible satellite images of the Atlantic before the sun went down, we can make out all of these entities just like what we just saw on the wide Atlantic satellite images. The clouds associated with the frontal system attached to the leftovers of Milton, the clouds associated with Tropical Storm Leslie quickly spinning and moving all the way out of there. We can definitely see it even better on the visible satellite images. Look at the low clouds spinning away and pushing towards the northeast. We can see the clouds associated with a strong tropical wave that could develop shortly right there to the west of the Cabo Verde Islands. I think we can make out that tropical wave that we just mentioned right there to the northeast of South America, and we can definitely make out the clouds associated with the trough that's bringing portions of the Greater Antilles, including Jamaica, some rainfall. We'll be talking more about the rest of the Caribbean weather later on. Let us focus our attention on the prediction that was made in yesterday's video about the weather across Jamaica for today, Friday, October 11, 2024. It was stated that parts of eastern Jamaica would have received some morning rainfall, and then would have had some rainfall spilling into sections of central and western parishes in Jamaica during the afternoon. And just for reference, we know eastern parishes, we're talking about those parishes in the county of Surrey, like Portland, St. Thomas, Kingston, St. Andrew. Central parishes, we're talking about those parishes in the county of Middlesex, like St. Anne, St. Mary, Manchester, Clarendon, St. Catherine. While western parishes, we're talking about those parishes in the county of Cornwall, like Hanover, St. James, Trelawney, Westmoreland, and St. Elizabeth. And what ended up happening? Well, in the morning, we got more overcast skies than anything else in eastern Jamaica. But we saw that we were definitely getting on some rainfall. We can see the greens, the yellows. They represent some light to moderate to slightly heavy rainfall affecting sections of some northern parishes. And this was posted to our Twitter page at around 10:30 a.m. And I'd like for you to keep in mind that these posts aren't only made here on our Twitter page at Weather Jamaica, but they're also made on our Instagram page at weather.jamaica, on our TikTok page at Weather Jamaica, and on our Facebook page at Weather Jamaica 876. So if you have one of those social media platforms, please ensure that you follow us there as we make posts throughout the day that you can't afford to miss. So as stated, we definitely had some rainfall, more so across northern Jamaica than the eastern parishes in Jamaica at that time. As I stated, we definitely had more overcast skies across eastern Jamaica at that time, all courtesy of the upper level wind shear, pushing the rainfall off to the west from the east. But look at what took place as the day progressed. At around 12:35 p.m., the visible satellite image was posted, and it highlighted some clouds bringing some overcast skies and isolated thunderstorms to portions of some eastern, central, and western parishes. Look at all of the cloud cover all across the island, and we can even see the sparkling yellow dust that we know represents some lightning strikes, if not lightning flashes. I definitely heard some of those thunder claps in my area of Kingston during the afternoon. Definitely had some rainfall across northern St. Thomas, section of Portland, St. Andrew, Kingston, sections of St. Catherine, sections of St. Mary, St. Anne, Clarendon, Manchester, St. Elizabeth, Westmoreland as well at that time. And even as the afternoon progressed, the infrared satellite images were posted at around 3:45 p.m. and it showed us how the thunderstorms were looking across the island. Look at the high cold cloud tops, all of which was being sheared off towards the west by that strong upper level wind shear. We definitely had some deep convection. Look at the blues, the greens, the yellows, the oranges, the reds, the blacks, the sparkling white dots that we know represents a amount of lightning strikes, if not lightning flashes, especially across sections of some central and western parishes for sure. That's where we have the brunt of the thunderstorms, and we saw most of this activity pushing off towards the west as the day was wrapping up. And if we take a look at the visible satellite images of Jamaica before the sun went down, we can definitely make out what we just mentioned right there on our other social media platform. We saw the clouds, the low level flow from east to west. Then we also had the upper level clouds from east to west, so that when we had the cumulonimbus clouds, those were being sheared off or blown off towards the west, just as predicted. But we can see that all of this is definitely clearing out as we speak to wrap up the night. The usual fair weather for the night in general. We can see that even the live camera from See Jamaica's YouTube channel showing crossroads in St. Andrew definitely receiving some amount of rainfall at around 1:41 p.m. and we can definitely make out the heavy rainfall to the north of New Kingston in the hills of St. Andrew. Look how white the hills are. Lots of rainfall, moderate to heavy rainfall for sure. We definitely had some rainfall in the corporate area, but not as hard as what was taking place in the hills of St. Andrew. And I'd like for you to keep in mind that these posts aren't only made here. Well, I'd like for you to keep in mind that this live stream is from See Jamaica's YouTube channel, and if you don't know by now, they show live streams of Halfway Tree, Barbican. They also show the Kingston Harbor, Flat Bridge, you name it. And they're planning on increasing the amount of cameras that they have in and around the corporate area. So subscribe today so that you don't miss out. So we can even see on the accumulated precipitation for the past 24 hours from the CIMH, that's the Caribbean Institute for Meteorology and Hydrology website. This map does indeed also paint a picture of where we had that rainfall today. Northern St. Thomas, section of Portland, section of St. Andrew, southern St. Mary's, St. Anne, sections of St. Catherine, sections of Trelawney, section of Manchester, St. Elizabeth, St. James, Hanover and Westmoreland definitely got in on the rainfall today. And we definitely have a comment here from one of our super fans. We had Josephine James reaching out, stating that it was pouring rain today in Kintyre district of Papi in St. Andrew. Nice to know that you got some rainfall just as predicted, Josephine. And I'm happy to know that you got a cool down as well. And we even had some other comments coming in right here on our Twitter page. Kelly Catherine stating enough rain in Linstead, Blacklight Night in Bog Walk. We also had Dale, the 1876 stating indoor all day in meetings, AC cold. Ricardo James stating Papi in St. Andrew rains, hearing thunders too in the hills. Even on our Facebook page, we had Shawnee Reynolds, heavy rain, lightning and thunder in St. Andrew. Vanessa Nicholson stating heavy rain in the grill. Even on our Instagram page, we had a comment coming in. Miss Duchess Chris stating overcast in Kingston with some drizzle. Love underscore my underscore Nana stating the rain just started where I am in Montego Bay. And we even have gorgeous underscore Martina stating tearing in Linstead. Asia underscore cross raining in Maypen as of 2:45 p.m. And Chantel forgiven rain and lightning in Linstead, as well as Anto underscore Netty underscore 89 stating it's raining here at Uwe. So that indeed confirms the rainfall that affected portion of the island today. And if we take a look at the very latest infrared satellite image, we're going to be looking at the latest still image that just came out at 35 minutes past the hour. So this one just came out at 7:35 p.m. so about 10 minutes ago. And we can see that for the most part, majority of the clouds have cleared out at this time. There's some leftover high-level clouds to the north of Hanover. And we can make out some thunderstorms right there to the southwest of St. Elizabeth. Right there, look at the blues, the yellows, the greens, the oranges, even some sparkling white that represent some thunderstorms. Let's see if we can match it to the latest cube and Doppler radar image. Let's see if we're actually making out that rainfall. Alright, so the latest image just came out at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is actually 7:30 p.m. Jamaica time. And we can definitely see that rainfall right there to the southwest of St. Elizabeth for real. The greens, the yellows that represent a moderate to heavy rainfall, just to match what we just saw on the infrared with the Doppler radar images. And we can even make out some rain right there to the north of Trelawney. We can make it out right there, the greens, the yellows within all of that. You can even make out some rainfall to the northwest of Hanover. So there's definitely some energy within some of these clouds for sure. And this is why we really appreciate Doppler radar images. We can actually make out the rainfall because sometimes the satellite images aren't 100% clear at all. Hopefully the Jamaican Doppler radar is fixed soon. Let me see if it's actually up and running as yet. I haven't been over here in a long while. This used to be the link for the radar. Let's see if it is up and running as yet. Well, I haven't been on this website in a long time. I think I need to get in contact with Evan Thompson to see if there's gonna be any updates. That's if it hasn't been fixed already. Let's see. Radar image right here. Let's see if it's up and running yet. Daily forecast. No. Still don't see a Doppler radar as yet. Hopefully they get it sorted out very soon. If we take a look at the Guantanamo Bay Cuban Naval Radar Station radar, we can't see much happening across Jamaica. There's some rainfall between Jamaica and Haiti, some rainfall right there to the north of the western peninsula of Haiti. But we can see most rainfall right there across southeastern Cuba, right there. They're definitely getting nailed as we speak. On the Cayman radar, just some isolated showers to the far south of the Cayman Islands. Not seeing much taking place. We can also make out that rainfall that we just saw to the northwest of Hanover too. If we take a look at the very latest Flatbridge live cam, we can see as of 7:49 p.m. the water is definitely running. We see that there's a bit of a strong current moving from left to right on our screen. Usually we don't see that during the night time, especially if we didn't have rainfall. But considering that we definitely had some thunderstorms today, it makes sense that the current is a bit strong for real. River is in somewhat of a spate in general, but nothing drastic to make it all the way on top of the bridge to make it impossible at all. If we take a look at the temperatures right now, we can see that we have 28 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay, 27 degrees Celsius in Kingston, and by about 4 a.m. on Saturday, temperature should dip down to about 26 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay, 25 degrees Celsius in Kingston. Taking a look at the temperature forecast for tomorrow, this map from the GFS is forecasting 18Z on Saturday when calculated. That's about 1 p.m. on Saturday, and we can see Jamaica right here embedded in some slight orange colors. So I guess we're going to be getting in on that 2 degrees Celsius above normal temperature range. We don't like that at all. Temperatures are going to feel warmer than normal. And we know the average temperatures for the month of October across Jamaica are about the same as 89 degrees Fahrenheit. When we take a look at the thermometer, when we calculate it, we know that 89 degrees Fahrenheit is about the same as 31.6 degrees Celsius. So we should be receiving anywhere from 31 to 33 degrees Celsius at most for Jamaica's temperature on Saturday. And we know the drill. We have to try our very best to beat the heat. Always limit non-essential strenuous activity during the hottest parts of the day. Please ensure that you take a soak. Take a cool shower or a bath to help you cool down. Make sure you get enough sleep and rest if you are feeling tired. And if I were you, I'd drink a lot of water. I'd definitely especially drink more water than the sugary drinks. Just to stay healthy. We know our body is made up of a huge percentage of water. The best thing that we can do is always replenish ourselves, stay hydrated with as much water as possible. If we take a look at the Saharan dust forecast for 2 p.m. on Saturday, we can see that we do still have that plume of dust pushing all the way from Africa across the main development region into portion of the Caribbean. Jamaica definitely going to be getting in on some of that tomorrow, but nothing drastic. We can see Jamaica right here starting to get in on the first leading edge of the Saharan dust. We haven't had Saharan dust in a long time, but we're indeed grateful that it's not that vigorous of a plume. We're seeing more lighter shades of browns. We don't see that vigorous dark shade of brown that we know can cause very hazy skies and trigger some amount of asthma or sinusitis or other respiratory illnesses in some persons. So we're indeed grateful for that. We won't even notice the Saharan dust tomorrow at all. If we take a look at the wave forecast for tomorrow, it makes sense that the highest wave heights in the Purples and the Burgundies are still right there across the open waters of the Atlantic, where we still have the remnants of Milton, Leslie right there, definitely churning up the waters in general. And we can definitely see that. Look at the winds that these entities are causing. The bright greens, the yellows, and look at the spin around the frontal system, and that one starting to interact with Leslie right there. While in terms of the Caribbean's forecast, we see more lighter shades of blues to darker shades of blues from the Gulf of Mexico across the central to the eastern Caribbean. That we know represents anywhere from 0.5 meter wave height all the way up to 1.5 meter wave height. And that's because the winds are going to be averaging anywhere from 5 to 10, maybe to 15 knots, maybe even gusting to 20 knots in some spots. And regarding what's expected across Jamaica, we definitely see the consensus for more so of an easterly flow. The easterlies are definitely bad, so we know what that means, especially for Western Jamaica. More afternoon rainfall if you're living in St. James, Hanover, Westmoreland, portion of St. Elizabeth, for sure. Their afternoon rainfall is a surety, and I'm sure they're indeed grateful for the eastern flow that is back. Either way, if we're going to be getting some rainfall coming off of the sea tomorrow, definitely St. Thomas and Portland could get in on some of that. But look at this. Look at where the air is piling up. Definitely a cross section of some inland areas of some central and western parishes. So we might just have those cumulus clouds becoming mid-level rain clouds, if not upper-level cumulonimbus clouds, for that afternoon rainfall, that diurnal convection. And the upper-level winds seem to be still coming in from the east, southeast, or from the southeast. We definitely see that flow right there. So we might just get more of what we've been getting in on with that strong upper-level flow. Look at the high cold cloud toss being pushed off from east to west. Tomorrow, we're forecasting it to be more so in this direction, from east, southeast to west, northwest. We'll see how that goes. Either way, that means more overcast skies, especially for areas to the west of the thunderstorms, if they indeed are forming. More overcast skies, if not light rainfall for the other areas. And if we take a look at the actual rainfall forecast maps now, didn't see much rainfall in the forecast on both the Euro and the GFS malls, especially for the morning hours. But during the afternoon, we start to see more of the blues represent rainfall across portions of the island. Euro showing the 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time map here, which is actually 3 p.m. Jamaica time. And we do see the blues represent rainfall across eastern, central, and western Jamaica. Look at that. You can see some greens, some dark blues, some yellows, oranges to the southwest of the island. Not sure how accurate that is, but the GFS is showing rainfall in and around the island. We see the blues across eastern Jamaica, central Jamaica, western Jamaica, especially across northern Jamaica. We'll see how that goes. We'll see how that plays out. Either way, both the Euro and the GFS malls are forecasting rainfall for Saturday afternoon at 3 p.m. across the island from eastern Jamaica to western Jamaica. More so northern Jamaica than anything else on the GFS. We'll see how that goes. I'll definitely be here to keep you posted on my other social media platforms with what happens. Either way, get that laundry done early. That's the takeaway from this in general. We see the accumulated precipitation forecast maps from the Euro and the GFS malls in consensus that is going to be raining somewhere from now up until 10 p.m. on Saturday. Not saying that's going to be raining from now all the way up until then continuously, but within the next 24 hours, these are the areas that are going to be picking up the rainfall. We see the greens, we see the oranges, we see the yellows, we see the reds. That represents all the way from 0.1 of an inch to at least maybe close to an inch in general. Euro definitely a bit more robust than the GFS. Either way, we will take it. We are in the month of October. We're in the wettest month of the year for Jamaica. In Kingston, whose bar graph is being shown right here at the top, we usually see up to 170 millimeters of rainfall, and calculated to inches. 170 millimeters of rainfall is about the same as close to 7 inches of rainfall, if I'm not mistaken. In Montego Bay, whose bar graph is being shown right here at the bottom, we usually see 8.5 inches of rainfall when calculated to millimeters. That's about the same as 212 millimeters of rainfall, if I'm not mistaken. Either way, you can use this website too. This is weatherandclimate.com, and if you'd like to know what your specific parish, whether Manchester, Portland, what your specific parish receives for this month, you can visit this website and you can use this little graphic right here that does the calculation. We know that 1 inch of rainfall is about the same as 25 millimeters of rainfall, so you can do the math yourself. Alright, so that's it for the forecast across Jamaica. Let us focus our attention on the rest of the Caribbean. So we don't see much happening across the northeastern Caribbean at all. I guess this is one of the first days that Puerto Rico looks so dry in general. Seems like we had some brief isolated thunderstorms across the western portion of the island. If we take a look at northern South America, portions of Guyana, Suriname, French Guyana, Venezuela, section of Panama, Costa Rica, Nicaragua, Honduras got in some of thunderstorms today. So too Haiti, Dominican Republic, Cuba got in some of the action too. If we take a look at the Doppler radar images of the northeastern Caribbean, not seeing much. Some hit or miss isolated shores to the east of Antigua and Barbuda. But if we take a look at the radar images from earlier, we can definitely make out that brief isolated thunderstorm across a portion of northwestern Puerto Rico for sure, but that was just about it. We also saw that rainfall across the Dominican Republic too. And if we take a look at the Barbados radar, we can see some rainfall right there, passing to the south, passing to the north. Some of the rainfall was definitely affecting portion of Barbados earlier, and we see most of the activity pushing from east to west, so we can definitely expect some rainfall across portions of Martinique if it's not already taking place. So too St. Lucia, St. Vincent and the Grenadines definitely getting nailed as we speak. Grenada as well, we see some rainfall passing to the north of Trinidad. Not seeing much happening across Trinidad and Tobago, but maybe that could change later on. If we take a look at the weather view of Doppler radar images, we can see some rainfall to the east of Nicaragua coming in, definitely lashing the air portion of Costa Rica, northwestern Venezuela, section of Belize. The waters to the east of Belize definitely wet as we speak. You can see some isolated showers still plaguing portions of Florida, section of Cuba, the Dominican Republic, as well as the Eastern Caribbean, just like what we saw on the Barbados radar. And if we take a look at the rainfall forecast, this map from the Euro and this map from the GFS are both showing all the rainfall that's expected from now up until 10 p.m. on Saturday. And we're not saying that's going to be raining from now all the way up until then, but within the next 24 hours, these areas are going to be picking up the rainfall for sure. The greens to the yellows, we know that that's more than likely some isolated showers. The oranges to the reds, maybe some slightly heavier rainfall, bring some isolated flash flooding, especially where we have the purples that represent all the way up to 3 inches of rainfall. You can use the key on the right to help you out. But we see that there's agreement regarding where the rainfall is expected, and we see that across portions of the Windward Islands. So anywhere from Martinique southward, St. Lucia, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Barbados, Trinidad and Tobago, Guyana, Suriname, section of Venezuela, Colombia, Panama, Costa Rica, Nicaragua, Honduras, El Salvador, Belize, Guatemala, section of Jamaica, the Cayman Islands, Cuba, the Bahamas, Florida getting in on the mix. We also see portions of the Turks and Caicos, Haiti, the Dominican Republic getting in on some of the action. But we see a discrepancy. We see some contrast regarding the Leeward Islands, anywhere to the north of Guadeloupe or in and around Guadeloupe. Not getting in on much rainfall on the Euro model, but the GFS model definitely trying to incorporate portion of the Leeward Islands. We'll see how that goes, and I'll definitely be here to keep you posted tomorrow with exactly what happened. Alright, so that's it for today. Thanks for watching.